I said, I'm gonna get Lily today. No, you coming up right away, straight away. Let's get this started. It is Monday in this bitch, okay? You was into that text.
I
I
was.
want, I want the tea.
Thank God Miss TT is not here because I be saying some crazy shit. We used to have some good conversations, okay?
Oh my God. How are you, doll? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I
Good to
gotta
see you. Good to see you.
I gotta go shopping for another baby soon. I can't do this.
I know we need our bodega cat back.
Yeah, it feels weird. It just feels like
Mhm.
so weird. Like I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta have an animal. Like now I see why they call them support animals.
Right, absolutely. Welcome, 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 everyone. If you're here for the first time, don't be confused. Okay, this is On the Block with Jen. I am YouTube and your favorite devil's advocate, hopefully, Jen. Okay, quick business out the way. You can support the show, Cash App On the Block with Jen. Yeah, I talk about money straight away. There's a business, baby. I talk about it straight away. It is right there on the bottom. If you want to support the show, help mama keep the church lights on, you Cash App On the Block with Jen, or you guys know the routine. Throw it in the super chat comment section. Bottom right is the $sign. Believe it or not, a lot of people still don't know. Okay, Cash App if you don't want nobody in your business. Super chat if you don't give a rat's damn. But we welcome you all. We are glad you are here. This is Monday. We had an amazing, amazing weekend. Lily, can you briefly tell them what goes on every Saturday so they know early?
Oh, every Saturday, 8 p.m., the Block Talent Battle. It's only getting better. Oh my God. I mean, but we never know what we're going to get. We never know what we're going to
Mhm.
get. So we want anybody, like if you have friends, family who wants to perform, it could be, well, we had a poet, we had a father and son rap duo. We didn't have God, but I'm getting them all confused because we had comedians, singers. We
We
had
had we had kind of a singer, the
oh
guy
yeah,
that did
the theme song.
the theme song.
We got a new theme song out of it. So
Mhm.
like so many things, but it's so much fun. It's this moment of anticipation before they come up because we don't even know. And so we
Right.
all discover these things at once. It could be a major train wreck or it could be a major discovery. And it's here on the block. And you all are the ones who are voting. It's not even us. So you all got to put it out there for them. Like you got to do it.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, it's a $100 cash prize depending on who votes for who. That's why we encourage people to have their friends and family watching because the more people that vote for you, the bigger chance you have of winning the cash prize, which is $100 immediately to
Mm.
your Cash App. And just so you know, we are authentic and integral, okay? There was a voting change announcement. We thought there was a front runner, but then one of the other competitors had their friends and family come and vote for them. So I have to do a recount with the votes, and I'll be announcing our first winner soon. You guys could still vote up to a week for our second winner. And then next Saturday, we'll announce our first and our second winner. Okay, so that's how it happens. Like we had a front runner, and then the other girl had her friends and family come and throw her name in our comment section. And now I have to do a recount just to be very, very fair. But it's been exciting. Like Lily said, we never know what we're gonna get. Okay,
Mm.
it could be a singer, rapper, actor, dancer, whatever it is you do, you're more than welcome every Saturday, 8 p.m. sharp Eastern on the block with Jenna. Come on up and compete for the $100 prize. And also, if you do music and you want us to play your your music for our intro for the 10 minutes, okay? 10 minutes. Contact on the block with Jen at Gmail, okay? And we could talk about it for a small fee. But if you watch last week's Block Talent Battle, you'll see for 10 minutes, we'll put your information on the screen and play your music, and everybody who's watching can hear it. So hit me on the block with Jen at Gmail if you want to talk about that, okay? But Saturday nights is really talent nights, good networking. You know what I mean? We're all networking with each other, knowing what's out there. If it wasn't for last Saturday, we would have never seen the father duo rap team, which was absolute. We were floored. We were absolutely floored by them. There's so much talent that's out there, and we feel good about bringing you this new talent that no one knows about, not even us. So it's a
And
good thing,
and
and it's growing.
And what I like the most, because you, I, and Haran talk about our frustrations in the music industry these days, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I like about this the most is that we're in the solution. All three of us are in the solution. Like we're part
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
the solution more so than the problem.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I love it. If you guys see me chewing, it ain't gum. I put strawberries in my smoothie, in my protein smoothie.
Oh,
So if I look like a little cow up here,
Zeusing it
um,
up a little bit.
no saint says I want it. I want in. Give me a few minutes. I figured no saint wanted in on this. I figured no saint wanted in on this. Lily,
It's been a lot going on today.
I said before that 2023 was going to be the year of reckoning. Did I
Yes.
not?
The cows, what is it? The roosters that come home, what is it? The chickens come home to roost?
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that people normally get away with for a long, long time, right? And this is the year of reckoning across the board. I like to say that I was a tiny catalyst in reckoning. Like there was a couple of guys that came for me on social media, but a lot of these guys are current criminals or on probation or on parole, so it's very easy to yank their collar every now and then if they act up, right? Hit them on the head with a newspaper like a bad little doggy. So I like to be like, I like to think that I was part of the reckoning and the karma. You know what I mean? You just find out who they are. It's very easy to do. Call up their probation officer, their parole officer, or red flag them. You know how I feel about that. I'm very adamant about that. Very adamant
Yeah.
about that. But why do I say that? I say that to make the point circling back to these people that got fired that we're going to get into, Don Lemon and Carlson Tucker, where it's like people are not going to be getting away with their bullshit, it seems, in 2023.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. People that we thought were so secure in their positions and stuff like that. It's been very interesting because the paradigm is switching. It's becoming upside down. And the quote unquote people who were looked at as A-list and held to these high standards no longer have as much pull as they once did, no longer have as much reach as they once did, to the point where, do you know that regular people like us, YouTubers, TikTokers, get more views on whether on social media and or television than CNN, MSNBC, Fox, to the point where they have to buy viewership to compete
Mm-hmm.
with the YouTubers and TikTokers.
Mm-hmm. Well, Lily, to piggyback off what you said, huge celebrities like a Beyonce, like a Bruno Mars, they're paying these TikTokers to make dances to their song. So when you see a song that has gone viral on TikTok, it's not because the song is that good, it's because there are people called little TikTok people, right? Who people said, get a day job, this isn't really work, right? We hear that a lot, right? Get a job, get a job. I believe in different revenue streams. So I believe in get many jobs in case this one shut down, you got your hand over there. In case that one shut down, you got your hand over there. That is the time that we live in. Nothing is 100% secure. So what these songs do, like if you look at Beyonce's song, the one that was super, super viral and everybody was doing that dance to, yeah, they contact these TikTokers because these TikTokers have millions and millions and millions of followers, and they give them that song and they do their little dance to it, and all the TikTokers follow. We saw the same thing with Bud Light tried it and dropped the ball. Bud Light tried it with why can't I ever remember his name?
I
Starts
just
with a
know, oh,
D.
Dylan, Dylan.
Okay, Dylan. What the fuck is wrong with me with that man's name?
I'm bad with all names, so I don't know. I can't
Okay.
think. Yeah.
For some reason, when I think about him, I think Daryl, Devin, Dylan. Okay, so Dylan, the alleged transgender model on TikTok, Bud Light tried to do that. Bud Light was following the model of, listen, get one of these TikTokers to promote it. They reached out to Dylan, but as you saw, it backfired for Bud Light. That was a mess. So sometimes you shoot and you miss, and Bud Light missed. But my point is that a lot of people, quote unquote, the commoners, the have nots, are now needed by these A-listers because people are pretty much, I guess, sick of the A-listers. And back to Don Lemon and Carlton, his name Carlton Tucker,
Carlton Tucker.
Carlton Tucker.
He looks like a Carlton Tucker though. Like that's
Right?
a name that I remember because he looks like his name to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, they have both been fired for different reasons, but you would look at two men like that and think, whoa, they've gotten away with so much, saying so much and throwing so much shade. And, they're so secure. And you just never know, right? Who's going to stay and who's going to go, especially after that huge lawsuit settlement over at Fox. What was it? $787 million.
A lot of money.
Right. So the reason why on the thumbnail I have AOC, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Cortez. Roll the R, honey.
Roll it.
She was recently on an interview at MSNBC with Jen Psaki, and she named names. She said that Carlton Tucker was one of the people that helped to incite violence that resulted in a January 6th Capitol takeover. She literally named names. Now, I was hoping that she also mentioned Trump, but she did not. But I thought he was like the head clown insisting to the American public that they stole the vote, right? He kept saying, don't let them take America from you. They stole the vote. What you gonna do about it, right? So I agree with AOC, though you guys know I'm not in politics like the average
right. Yeah, I don't care for none of them hoes.
Right. I don't. I didn't vote for AOC. I was very happy to see somebody so young, Puerto Rican, from the Bronx, make it. I don't care if it was cooking. I don't care if it was politics.
Right.
I don't care what it was. It was a young woman of color, very, very young, the youngest woman of color that got a seat in the Senate. Salute.
Right.
Okay. But right. No, I didn't vote for her. Just so you know, I am the same across the board. I didn't go running to the polls because she was Puerto Rican. I was just like, salute, because it's not easy for us in this country. Salute, sis. Right.
Keep up alive.
Right. So, I was hoping that she mentioned Trump, but she mentioned Carlton. Is it Carlton or Carlson?
I think we're at Carlson now.
Okay. Carlson. Because every time I say his name, I think of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's probably why I've been calling him Carlton, because he looks like Carlton.
Carlson. And plus, hello, I don't say his name. This is the first time I'm saying his name, Lily. So, I don't say that man's name. So, Carlson Tucker. AOC did mention him. So I thought it was interesting. So then, boom, the next day he gets fired. Now, did our little feisty Latina, throw some dirt on his name and it lit a light bulb over somebody's head? Or was Fox like, we got to get rid of him after that lawsuit because we can't risk losing any more money in this capacity? So maybe, I love that AOC named names. And I love that they got rid of him because, the problem with, and we see this too, and I'm connecting, and people are like, how's it connecting? But we see this too online, social media, YouTube, where people think they could constantly attack people. They could constantly incite violence, whether it's violence towards women, whether it's violence towards Black women specifically, whether it's to minority, and I use the quotes because we're not the minority, we're the majority, right? Latino, Black, Asian, Indian, we're the majority. But it gets to a point where people, they just keep fucking around and they think they're untouchable. And my thing is, you got to remind them that they're touchable. Yeah. Everybody's touchable, right? Everybody can bleed, everybody can get fired. But with the power of media, not only social media, YouTube, but even with the power of sitting at a desk at CNN and sitting at a desk at Fox, you start feeling untouchable. Oh yeah. So you start getting real slick with your mouth, right? Start getting real slick with your mouth. And they showed Don Lemon and Carlson Tucker. Yeah, not so much. Not this week. Not another day further. With that said, let's bring up the originalizer of the vlog. Hello, No Saint.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up now? Where you at?
Where you at?
In the kitchen. I'm what do you call it? Multitasking.
Okay,
segment.
Good luck, because you're a man and you guys don't do that very well.
No.
Sizzle. The emails are loading right now.
Right.
We can do anything.
I've always said, now I got one for women too. So the men are bad at multitasking and women are bad at directions. Like if you put them in a car and they have to go somewhere, like even with the GPS, it was so bad because I used to Uber all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I had learned, like, I got to the point when I would get a woman Uber driver, I would just, this is before they had the cancellation fee, I would cancel it until I get a man.
What you had to say, no, Saint? You look pressed.
No, I'm okay. I'm just, moving around, listening, and making, trying to I got to cook some quick dinner for, we were busy.
Okay, nice. So thank you for the correction. George Cook says AOC is House of Representatives, not Senate. Thank you.
Yeah, that's true. And
thank you.
It's Carlson.
Oh, yeah. George Cook definitely came through with the Carlson. I say Carlson because I think of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Right.
But it's Carlson. This is what the chat is for. Correct me if I am wrong. I'm good with it, honey. I like to teach. I like to be taught. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's all good. Okay.
Do it.
So AOC House of Reps. Absolutely. So no Saint.
Yes.
People getting fired this week. I got a lot to say, but I want to pass the mic.
Well, what was interesting is that he signed off Friday saying, "We will see you Monday." So this was like something over the weekend, but it is and isn't surprising. It's surprising because that was the #1 rated show on Fox. But at the same time, I don't think as many years as he worked there, he made $720-something million for Fox.
I was about to say that. It's not 708. #1 show probably, but not $787 million worth.
And you remember they fired Bill O'Reilly when he was #1 too.
Correct.
That's right. So, like, the only issue I have with him being fired is that they allowed him to do that. Somebody above him allowed him to spew out conspiracy theories and rhetoric. He was spewing out the replacement theory, which is a horrible thing, saying that they're letting people come in to replace the white people, like stirring up fear in white people that they're going to.
That's what AOC said.
Yeah, he said it. I've seen.
They're going to take our jobs. That one.
That kind of stuff. I saw he allowed some of the lawyers. They all allowed Trump to come on there and say what he said, but he allowed some of Trump's lawyers to come in there and talk about the Dominion voting machines and the other one that. This isn't the first lawsuit. There's another machine. I can't remember. Something Matic voting machines. They're coming with a lawsuit. If you don't know, the MyPillow guy who was pushing that he had proof that the algorithm, that everything was changing votes, he challenged somebody and said $5 million if you can prove that what I have here is wrong. Somebody who's into the software, like, the in the know tech guy, went in there, proved it wrong. The court said, yeah, you have to pay him $5 million. So
you talk about the pillow, the guy that wears that cross right up here with the blue button down. I know what you're talking about.
So this is really awesome because he's like the #1 go-to. He was the one that was repeating all these conspiracy theories, all these QAnon conspiracy theories, and got a lot of people stirred up even after the fact. And what was really interesting is he had text messages behind the scenes that got released that said he didn't even believe it. He knew they were lies. He doesn't even like Trump. He said he can't wait till he doesn't have to talk about Trump anymore. He doesn't like him. So I found all that really interesting. I'll put it on mute so I change something up real quick.
Okay.
Wow. There's a lot there.
Okay, so Don Lemon coming with the serve next. He said it's Tucker Carlson.
Okay, so see, the guy got 2 last names, and that's what's going on. I don't know, like, this is confusing. He looks like his name, whatever it is.
Tucker Carlson. See the chat gonna get it in with the chat. Okay, that's what our chat does. The chat gonna get it in. Thank you, Don Lemon, for that.
Tucker Carlson looks like all
Tucker. Okay, let's just think he looks tuckered out, Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker guy.
We're gonna tuck it in the front. Because that's not usually how it's tucked, but we're gonna tuck it in the front.
I thought it was tucked this way, Lee.
You're supposed to tuck it in the back, but we're gonna tuck it in the front this time.
Oh my gosh. So going
We're
back.
not taking this place on Fox, are we? I don't see that.
No, we're not. We are not.
Fox is not calling us.
So again, I love what AOC said. I love what she did. I love what she said. Going back to people thinking they can say whatever they want to say constantly, right? And the whole inciting violence. Now, here's something interesting. And I mentioned this before. What's up, Lex Diamonds? I don't want you, but welcome. So what she said, I spoke about this before, and I don't know if you guys recall. I said that places like YouTube, right, have to be held accountable and responsible for letting, whether it's the Manosphere, whether it's a Tucker Carlson, whether it's a Bill O'Reilly, they have to be held accountable for allowing these people to incite violence if inciting violence is what they're doing. And I've heard men in the Manosphere saying that there's going to be a war against women. I've heard the same men say they have weapons. I've heard the same men saying women need to be attacked. Okay. Women need to be hurt. And if YouTube is allowing that after you put these complaints in, then they can also get sued. I have been saying that for a long time now, but the pushback is usually, well, no, it's freedom of speech and YouTube can't control anything. Well, look what happened with Fox. Okay. Look what happened with Fox. They have to be held accountable. You cannot have a freaking system where there are millions of people and some idiots are saying this group of people, you should have violence against this group of people. So YouTube has to be held account at Facebook, Instagram, all of them. I mean, they ripped down Farrakhan. Mm-hmm. They took Farrakhan off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
They take off what they want to take off.
Yeah, and I think David Duke as well.
David Icke.
David Duke.
And David Duke. David Icke and David Icke was the first person to get taken off years ago.
Right. Andrew Tate.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I know they're money loving and greed and American greed and, but when you hit them in their pockets, $787 million worth, you know what I mean? They get to start getting rid of people or firing people. It's the same thing on YouTube. And I guarantee a lawsuit, maybe a class action versus YouTube is coming.
Yeah.
Because they're letting these idiots incite violence. And it's not like these idiots have 5-10 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these Manosphere clowns have 200,000 subscribers, 500,000 subscribers,
mm-hmm.
1 million subscribers. So
Yep.
they have to be held responsible. Like I said before, you cannot come up here and incite violence or talk about some people should be hurt because you couldn't get laid at 16.
Or today.
Thank you. Thank you for the correction because, and today, you can't incite violence towards a group of people because you can't get laid. And that's why I say red flag them. But anyway, I digress.
But no, I'm with you because you know how I feel about freedom of speech. I will fight till that line for someone's freedom of speech. I don't give a fuck if you talking about everything I am, right? I'm going to still fight for your right to say it.
Correct.
Until we start talking about violence. Now that's where you have to draw the line. And and so yes, this, to your point, YouTube has pulled that button at their will, which shows that they are able to do it. They just don't want to do it because of the advertising. And then they will demonetize some of those people, but still run ads on their videos. They'll demonetize them, saying that they have to demonetize them because they can't run an ad on their video. But then if you don't have to pay YouTube and you watch their video, it's still there. So it's all BS. It's all BS. And at this point, at this point, mainstream media has become a fucking joke. Let's just talk about that. That's why people have ran over to watch regular people report on things. Now, that could be dangerous as well because everyone's not like me. I'm not gonna just walk away and be like, oh, that sounds good. Let me run over. I'm actually gonna go look at, but most people are just gonna run, and it's just gonna, if it sounds salacious, then they're just gonna run with it. Yeah, so that's that thing. But when it comes to that violence thing, that's where I draw the line. Because when I'm listening to we had a guy from the Manosphere come up here. We had like a couple of them, and some of the stuff that came out of their mouth just so freely. It was like they forgot where they were at for a second.
Correct. Lock them up. And here's the thing: even if there has to be, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Get strict with it. Even if it's a person with 1,000 subs, and that person is attacking one particular person, and all their minions are attacking that person, red flag. Red flag them.
You're not talking about.
What say you?
Rapper?
So I think there are still real journalists out there. They're just not what's being watched very much. There are still people that uphold, and what's really funny is, like let's say Chris Wallace, he was on Fox, right? And that's Mike Wallace's son. And they got rid of him almost because he asked Trump too many tough questions. I mean, the Fox News fans were saying he was being unfair, and then of course they're going to call him a liberal. But what I'm curious about, but anyway, what I want to say is, but as far as being responsible, so freedom of speech is one thing, and nobody stopped Tucker Carlson from saying what he said, and nobody stopped Fox News from putting that on the TV. But doesn't mean that you can't say some things that have repercussions. And in this case, I'm so glad that these companies, because their reputation, these companies' reputation in about probably a high 40, maybe 50%, but let's say high 40% of the country believe that these machines were in on the election, right? And that was backed up by these news organizations. Newsmax is probably the next one that's going to get hit. But these news organizations that were repeating these things, so you can say it all you want, but and the difference between them and someone on YouTube is as long as nothing happens and they're not big enough, you're probably going to be all right. But when you become that big and a lot of people are listening to you, and then we see what happened on January 6th, we see that half the country doesn't believe, or maybe I want to give it a little less than half, doesn't believe that the election was fair. All this being spewed out by what was supposed to be fair and balanced news organization. It would be one thing if it was the National Enquirer, but this is like a place where people believe everything coming.
You just took my thought out of my head, because I was saying that back then, the blogs, the gossip blogs, right? It was okay that they were salacious, because it's fun. It's fun to think of celebrities being celeb. But when you're talking about politics and voting and life and death and country takeovers and media lying, you cannot act like the National Enquirer, CNN. You cannot act like the National Enquirer, MSNBC, Fox News. You cannot be the National Enquirer. And that is what we saw happening. And I think it's going back to what Lily said, where they saw their ratings slipping and they looked to see, well, what's making money? Oh, all those gossip blogs. Insert Trump.
Right. And the reason why I said that the mainstream media has become a joke since 2020 is because look at this, right? You can watch, and this is mainstream. Let's leave out the bloggers, the YouTubers, right? You can go to MSNBC, you can go to CNN, you can go to Fox or whatever, and you're going to hear completely different stories.
Yeah.
Completely different stories, which is showing you that there's a clear agenda on both sides, on all sides. And so it has people to the point where they don't want to believe anything. They don't know what to believe at this point.
Right.
Because we have been trained to listen to them, that they're going to uphold, but honestly, that's been going on. This has been going on for a long time. It's just, I guess the chickens have come home to roost because it got to the place where they got really comfortable with it. Because that's what I was saying since 2020. I said, damn, they done got real open with this shit because I don't really watch it.
Yeah,
but every now and then I'll tune it, and it's like a comedy show for me because I'm like, is this real? Like, this is how they're doing it now? Because it just looks so blatant at this point. Like all of them. It's so blatant that there's clear agendas that they want to get across and that they're in bed with certain people. But then, like, recently, Fox just turned on Trump. Like, it's just, so it's like, okay, it was facts and true when you liked them, but something changed. So now it's not facts and true. So what's true? And
that's what was crazy. Like, after the election, like, okay, so somebody on Fox, one of their political commentators, called Arizona early, right? Like early in the night before, and Arizona did end up not being called till after the election. But someone said, that Biden's going to win Arizona, and it pissed all the Fox viewers off, and they turned on him. So who comes in? Newsmax, which is like worse than Fox. I mean, I never even heard of Newsmax until then. But you start seeing they're peddling all this, conspiracy theories and what was crazy.
I know you're talking about. Yes.
And what was crazy was I remember walking into work one time and somebody had on Newsmax and I said, Fox wasn't far enough to the right.
No, I feel the same way. Somebody turned me on to that, and it's another thing. It's on my Roku. And because I look at everything and then I'll just figure out where the truth is, like, kind of like, boil it down and whatever we're left with, And so I felt like, so I was like, damn, this is far to the right.
I mean, we're right on the cusp of, remember, who was that guy there was a radio guy that would come on late at night, and they would talk about like the aliens. The aliens.
It was given coast to coast.
Yeah, we're right there.
Because and the thing is, with coast to coast, they let you know, hey, we're just bringing on these people, letting them talk. We're going to let them, we're not going to rebut too much. We're not going to say it's true. We're not going to say it's false. It's just entertainment.
Right.
Do whatever you will. But these people were like giving coast to coast and calling it hard-hitting news.
Right.
Lily, to go back to something you said how the different stations, they were all saying different things, but have you seen the compilations of like where all the news sources are saying the exact same things verbatim?
Oh, but yeah,
that's really creepy.
But
like all the different stations.
Well, that's the part I'm talking about, and I don't even want to go into the whole details of all of that. But that's been going on a long time, and that's why I was talking about the blatantness, because it's a standard script. It's a standard script. It's not like back in the days when we had a Lois Lane going out and getting the scoop. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't
Carmen Sandiego.
Right, Carmen Sandiego. It was none of that. And right now, it's just they sit down at a desk and they read a script. Right. And no one even asks who's writing this script. Where's it coming from? What's the agenda? Because you think they have advertising dollars, right? You look at who the advertisers are. Big Pharma is usually the number one, just things like that. Like, people don't look at these things. I'm always looking at who's paying for it. Where's this money coming from?
Follow the money.
And so then the script would make sense, because I'm like, y'all not seeing this when the show goes off? Look at who the sponsors are and look at what they were talking about look what the script was saying this whole time. So that was one of the things I was talking about when I said, damn, they done got blatant now. They just don't care. They just really don't care.
But it's so easy Tap Records says Tucker Carlson ran edited footage of January 6th and said nothing happened at the Capitol. People that saw the insurrection live didn't believe what they saw with their own eyes. It's unbelievable. Oh, yeah. I mean, one thing we discovered about what I discovered on social media is how blatant, and we joke around the sheeple, people are cattle and what have you. But what I've seen on social media, like, I totally get why our government and other governments worldwide take advantage of their population.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, now, like, oh, I get it now, because you watch people talk, and I see it in little ways, and I'm always discussing this, like with Haran and Lily, where it's like someone, but here's the thing, the minions, some of them are up on it now. Right. So they're making money off of it. Right. Where before it was just the media heads, like, in the government. It's like, no, now it's like a couple of people in the mix with the have nots. The minions are like, oh, so I could bamboozle these people and get paid. Right. So we see it in little skits, like these skits that freaking bombard fucking Facebook and Instagram, where it's like a woman's not doing something for a man.
That's a topic.
I know you've seen those skits, right?
That's a topic, Jen. That's a
right.
whole topic.
Right. So it's like, and we'll make it a topic, but it's like, you know, you throw out a meme. People don't know where this meme came from. People don't know if it's true or false. They have no fucking idea, but they are ready to fight in them comments. You throw out a video. People don't know where it came from, who dropped it. Could have been China. It could have been the Russians. It could have been somebody, right? It could have been somebody trying to get more spins on their on their pages, on their social media pages, and people just going and argue for 3 hours. Like, I could very easily throw out a meme tonight on Facebook and say, you guys who sit your mother in the front seat of your car ain't shit. Your girlfriend's supposed to sit in the front seat. And I will literally invite people, and 300 people will be arguing in my comments just because I said, yeah, you ain't shit if you sit your mama in the front seat. Your girl should sit in the front seat. And people like cattle, like zombies, even though they've seen that meme 1,000 times before, even though they've argued that premise 1,000 times before, they will come to my page to argue about their mother should be in the front seat. And then the women will come up and argue and say they should be in the front seat. And I'll just sit back and it's like, yay, feed my algo, bitches.
I've done it so many times.
But people, they just show up and they know it's bullshit. But that's what I'm saying. They don't want to be saved. Like, they literally don't want to be saved. They need the interaction. They're like, fuck it. If I get to argue about gender wars for 3 hours on this page, on this woman's page, I don't know, great. And we see it happening over and over again. So when I look at what happens, when I look at the insurrection on January 6th, and these people that follow, and YouTubers that get 1 million followers overnight, like that white linebacker, what the fuck is her name? Burly things. Like her, it's like, it's very easy to see why people are bamboozled so easily in mass, right? This bitch blew up overnight because the formula on YouTube is just hate on women and the one hating on Black women. You'll explode overnight. That's the secret formula, right? On YouTube. And she did it and blew up. So these people want to, they want the chaos. So people are here trying to save the people. Let's save the people. Let's save the community. These hoes don't want to be saved. The hoes don't want to be saved.
What you just said is one of the many, 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 many reasons why I believe in freedom of speech, because at the end of the day, they don't want to be saved. And I'm going to tell you a little story of how I found this out for myself when I got the ding. Oh my God. Because I used to be one of those people like, no, guys, you're being scammed. No, don't do that. You're being scammed. Like, that was me, right? And specifically talking about when I was started doing the model management thing, and one of the models that I managed, very accomplished model, she came up with a trade, like a legally trademarked, type of situation, modeling class, in short, right? Mm-hmm. And she put her heart and soul in it, and she wanted to make sure she did, all the things the right way. Mm-hmm. Okay, but in that same city, we had like several people selling the dream. Like, come to my modeling class for half the price of that, and I'm going to make you a star, right? And people were just lining up in droves to the scam that was, to me, clearly. And anytime someone promises you anything in entertainment, it's a scam. It's a scam. That's the biggest number one thing, because what we prided ourselves on is that we never made promises except for we promise we will do our part. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you have to do your part, but none of us can say what's going to come from it. Oh, they didn't like that. But the people saying I can make you a star for half the price, they were signing up in droves. And I'm sitting up here like, you guys, you're being scammed. They didn't care. No. And that's when I got that epiphany that you said, Jen. And I threw my hands up and said, and I used to be mad at the scammers, but then I was like, how can I be mad at them? Like, these people want it.
But that's I've had the same epiphany, and that's why I look at the government. I'm like, oh, I see why you fuck everybody in the ass. Like, I get, listen,
I
get why you fuck everybody in the ass. I get why you charge us so much in taxes. I get why I get why you know what I mean, have the worst fucking health care on the planet. Because nobody's going to do shit about it.
They're not.
Nobody's going to do shit about it. You're going to talk a good one. Nobody's going to do a damn about racism. Nobody's going to do shit about shit. I get it.
All you got to do is distract us with another viral news story about a celebrity. And we're going to be all about
and the thing is that,
or whatever we're mad about this week.
Right. And the thing is that even, the low level, you know what I mean, media folk found that out themselves. And that's why they began using their own people. Mm-hmm. That is why you see Black YouTubers now using the Black demographic who's bitter and hurt and hates women or hates men. That's why you see them doing it now. Because they're like, well, fuck, let me take a page out of that book so I can make some money. Fuck these people. Yeah. Right? So you see people, they're getting wise to it. So you're going to start seeing it shifting because the colonizers don't like seeing us make a lot of money. Right? Know what I'm saying? So that's going to change as well. And if you notice what happened, Instagram stopped paying people for reels and they started charging people for that blue check. But it's really you paying for Instagram membership. Like, it makes you feel good to have a blue check. But what you're really doing is paying for a membership that's free. Yeah. That's all you're doing on Instagram. But that's what I'm saying. They don't want to be saved. They want to be cattle. They want to feel good. And even that blue check, it makes them feel good. Because it's like, oh, Beyonce got a blue check and I got a blue check. I must be on Beyonce's level, right?
And she ain't got one no more.
Oh, she got one now. She paid for it.
She paid for it. She paid her own $14 out of her $1 billion account.
Yeah, she sure did. So it's like they don't want to be saved. They want to be lied to. They want to feel good. And we were fighting the good fight because we got the third eye and we could see everything. They don't want to be. Matter of fact, we are a nuisance to the people that want to be lied to. We are a nuisance. That's why I don't have 1 million subscribers, because I'm not blowing smoke up your ass.
Jen.
Can I get an atheist amen?
I was about to say we're in church today because this is church. I used to go through so much when I was in Atlanta. People when I was trying to help the model community, Jen, that's how they treated me, like a nuisance. They used to make all these videos about me and my model and stuff like that. It was like they were making all types of videos about us because we were a nuisance.
Oh, absolutely. They don't want.
Let us believe my dad. Right.
Let me say something. My dad told me something before we pass the mic and welcome her on to Margo. My dad told me one time. My dad was quite the man with words. He was, he said in his heavy Spanish accent, he said, a problem with you women, you don't understand. If somebody's about to punch somebody, I'm paraphrasing, if somebody's about to punch somebody and you get in the way and you take the brunt of that punch, that person wants to be with that person, you become the enemy.
Yes.
You're the enemy. Yes. So stop standing in the way of people who want to be punched.
Yes. Yeah, because I'm like that with, I hate to say it, but I'm like that with DV. A lot of times when they're
I was like, thank you, Daddy. Thank you.
I've had to learn it because you will be in jail for beating up your sister's boyfriend while they're in bed with her black eye.
Lily, did you say DV? The thoughts and ideas of On the Block with John, not necessarily the thoughts of the host.
Because I've had stories like this, and that's how I learned the hard way. And I've seen
really trying to get us canceled.
I know, but I've seen people almost get killed behind stuff like that, and it's like, wow. Yeah. And I learned that lesson early in life. I learned that lesson so early in life because I've seen it so many times. I was like, oh, they want to fight. I didn't know. Why didn't someone tell me?
I was always the violent one. I was like, he drew first. I was me. But shut up, Haran. I like what Harumi Ada said. A lie unchallenged can become the truth. Ooh, that's gospel right there. And this is why I encourage the guys that I know, because I know good men, to have their own YouTube channels, because it's saturated. Social media is saturated with the liars.
Yes.
And the lies become the truth. I told you I saw a documentary with Donald Trump, and his father's attorney, who then became his attorney, was like, you just got to keep saying it. Doesn't matter if it's a lie. This is literally in the documentary. It is in the documentary.
That is the Nazi Hitler. That was what they did. Yeah. They knew if they told a lie enough that it would catch on. And that's true. There's another saying, I think, a a lie will circle the world 2 times before the truth has even gotten out of bed or something like that.
And another one is why would people will believe? Hold on. Damn it! It's something about like why believe the truth when the lie is more entertaining.
Hello. Let's do the super chat break. Thank you so much for the super chat. Adam Hen says Fox stock has plummeted since the news of Tucker's firing. The real winner is CNN. Lemon is low-key anti-woman like a lot of gay men of this generation. Oh, he opening up a can. He want to open up a can. Adam Hearn, you want to open up a can right now? He just opened up a can with the old can opener with this bitch. Not even the electric one. Woo! Thank you for the super chat, Don Lemon. I'm fitting to marry you, though I don't believe in marriage.
Right.
I'm gonna marry Don for 6 months. We got to deal. We good, Don Lemon? We could marry for 6 months. 6 months.
Temporary marriages are awesome.
There you go. Haran Marco, how are you, darling?
Yeah, I'll take a little break from studying.
Okay. What are we studying?
I have a number of tech certifications I'm looking to get in the next 6 or 7 months. You know what I mean? I got to go get this bag, baby. I got some things I need to do. I got things I need to do and people I don't need to marry.
You're here.
You know what I mean? But look, man, overall, it's like I tell you all the time, Jenny. I mean, like, I tell people, you want to talk the truth or you want to talk the facts, man. Because very often, you know, I mean, neither of those things overlap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I can tell you the truth. And usually the truth that you want me to tell you is what you want to hear. It's the story that helps you agree with me. It's the story that helps you sleep at night. It's the story that doesn't make you think that I'm a negative person. There's a lot of people who think that I'm a negative person and have such a bleak worldview. Like, no, I'm just very pragmatic. I'm just very real.
Oh, I hear that all the time about
they call
me
me cold. They always
right. They're like, "What? Who hurt you?" I'm like, "Well,
it's
a lot of people hurt me, but I got over it."
It's not cold if I say that most of these kids don't know how to fucking read. It's just a cold hard fact. You know what I mean?
But you're right, Haran. If you say it, just flat out say it, they will call you cold.
You know what I mean? But if I tell you, see, at the end of the day, these news, we have to look at it as it is. These channels are for entertainment purposes, and they adhere to advertisers. Okay, it's the advertisers, and advertisers sell products, and products, you know what I mean, move within the lifestyle of certain people. A couple of days ago, we had a prime example of that. Bud Light, people lost their shit, you know what I mean, over Bud Light having a trans person involved with their campaign, and they lost their shit because the core audience is conservative, red-blooded, red state, racist, good old boy America. You know what I mean? And those and Fox News represents that as well. Now, you know, Fox News can move and do whatever it wants just as long as they continue to tell people it's the liberals that's the reason why this country is fucked up. It's the immigrants that's the reason why this country is fucked up. And the liberals can move and CNN can move as long as they keep saying, well, Trump is the reason why this country is fucked up. And we need to take away guns. That's the reason why this country is fucked up. You know what I mean? As long as people keep spitting that rhetoric, you know what I mean, that, you know, everybody gets to, you know, have what they have and so on, and gets to chew on the fucking bone that they have. You know, then everybody's good.
I ain't giving up my Glocks.
But the truth of the matter is that there's only one club, baby, and it's the rich. And you ain't in it.
It's all about.
I mean, that's true.
You ain't in
it. But let me step in on that because listen. I've turned on because I like Lily said, I like seeing what I did that a lot. Like, let me see what these people, because it's really interesting to see the spin on all these sides, right? But the one difference I've noticed, and this is why I'm harder on Fox, CNN is a joke. I mean, they have opinion. They really need to label these are opinion shows because people, especially people that are younger than us, they think this is news. This is how news always is. And it really isn't. It hasn't always been that way. So they blur the lines between an opinion show and a news show. And a lot of people like you said, they want to hear what they want to hear. But then, I heard this on Tucker Carlson, or I heard this on O'Reilly, and that's news for them instead of, that's an opinion. People have a hard time. But what I'm saying is this: what I saw on Fox, even lately, and it might have been on Tucker Carlson, that is more disturbing to me than what CNN does is they actually, I've some guy that he had on his show saying, I'm so sick and tired when Trump got indicted. Now, granted, this is the weakest indictment. I want to see the other indictments that are more important. I think this guy in New York probably should have left it alone. But I'm so sick of these liberals. I'm sick and tired. I mean, really, with vitriol and hate. And there are people that watch that hate people that have an opinion that they think's liberal. And I was saying, because I've always said, okay, maybe I'm left of center, but I'm closer to the center. Especially, I've moved close to the center because there's stuff on the left that is crazy too, right? And I'm like, yeah, both sides. So I think I'm a little bit left of center, but I'm really close. I'm more of a center. I believe I'm more. But here in Louisiana, they think I'm far left. And I had a guy from California.
It depends on where you go.
A guy in California said he was a conservative in California. He comes here and they look at him like he's a liberal. You know what I mean? Because this place is so skewed. But that's the scary thing I've seen on these right-wing networks. And this all started, Leela, you're right. It's been a lot. This has been brewing for a long time. And I like to take, and somebody can correct me, and I may be wrong, but I started noticing this divide with Rush Limbaugh when Rush Limbaugh started becoming really popular. And, it was all, that's back when Bill Clinton was president. It was all,
But wasn't he like, he's like the granddaddy of all of these characters?
To some degree, yes.
He is.
To some degree.
But I'm going to tell you when it started happening on television. I'm going to tell you when I noticed it. And I noticed this. I watched this in real time and said, something's happening here. And you're gonna trip when I tell you this.
So who before Rush Limbaugh?
On television, like mainstream television, when everyone started doing it, because yes, Rush might have done it first, but when I'm talking about like the popularity, when I started seeing the explosion, is when Wendy Williams hit the scene, and she was doing Hot Topics, right?
Wendy Williams?
And yes, when she was no news did Hot Topics before Wendy Williams, none, not one.
This could be a good argument.
But Hot Topics. She did Hot Topics about celebrities, though, right?
I'm about to take it. I watched this in real time. I'm about to tell you the steps I saw them take.
Okay.
So prior to Wendy Williams hitting the air, because no one knew, except unless you was New Yorker, you didn't know about Wendy Williams. But we knew about Wendy Williams. Okay, she hit the air. She blew up with this Hot Topics, right? And then the first thing I noticed was in the morning, the news stations would do celebrity Hot Topics. And that was the first time I would see them come off a script. That was the first time in history we saw them come off a script. Then I started noticing them coming off the script, not just for Hot Topics. It just started getting more like they would insert their opinion in between reading the stuff. And then we started having the Rush Limbaugh's getting their shows, and Iman's getting his show. And this person, I noticed it was like boom, boom, boom. So it was like, it really started like really blowing up around that time, because Wendy actually hit the air right, like she tried to have a few shows before the show on Fox really blew up. So that's when I started to see the explosion of all of this off script, I'm just telling you what I think, type of news was that.
So what are you basically
but then if we say Wendy Williams, then we got to take it back to Howard Stern.
Yes, we do. Yes,
so we got to take. So I would say, well, this is interesting too. Glenn, what's up, Glenny Benny? Come on up if you want.
That was their program.
Newt Gingrich,
yes,
is the grandfather of right-wing extremist media. So
I think there was one person I feel who really took it to the next level. And at first I actually liked him until he went way out there. Then I was like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Bill Maher?
Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, Bill O'Reilly. Okay.
Yeah.
No, Bill Maher is such he's such a clown, man.
Yeah.
I like Bill Maher. I like Bill Maher.
Bill Maher is just so much, because I know so much about him behind all that shit.
I don't care who he was
You know what I'm
fucking.
saying?
He's good
It's not about
TV.
that. It's not about that. It's just about so
I
many
used to love him.
contradictions. It's about so many whatevers. It's just like Bill. It's just so
Oh
much.
my God. I remember Morton
Yeah,
Downey
I remember him
Jr.
too.
You know what? Wow, you taking it back to when we was kids.
Yeah,
Right.
he was a conservative, very conservative.
Yeah, and
I
he was like a chain
remember.
smoking. He
Yeah,
looked 90 when
but
we
he
were
was more
kids,
like
He
a
looked
man.
terrible.
He looked
Jerry
horrible.
Springer, you know. But
I want to get ahead, no Saint, and then I
yeah,
want to segue into this Don Lemon thing because I
yeah, because I
like
want to
that
hear. I
can.
haven't heard. I didn't hear about the Don Lemon, so I'm curious. But I want to say to Lily, I know there's that video. She was talking earlier about how everybody's on a script, and I know there was a video going around where it showed everybody saying the exact same thing, and they made like smaller and smaller TVs. I don't know if you saw that video or not.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's okay. So first of all, a lot of these stations are owned by the same conglomerate, mega
Right,
media
right.
corporation,
Three different,
right?
yeah, three
Right.
different companies.
But some
Like
of
the
that, like
banks.
what they were talking about, that was almost like, hey, we're gonna we're lighting a candle for cancer. It wasn't, it was almost like a promo. It sounded like, but I get what you're saying. Like these news stations, I don't think they're all showing us like, especially not local news, right? That looked like more local news. They're showing local stories and everything like that. But you're right. There is because it's gotten so big, it's a lot harder to find the independent. But there are independent, and there are people that take journalism seriously.
Yes.
And we're just seeing the extreme of the Tucker Carlson opinion shows that, especially. I mean, it was already getting bad, but when this whole election thing took place, I mean, just really
Messy.
irresponsible stuff was being said. And I was at work, and I told a guy, because we got a lot of Fox watchers and a lot of conservatives where I work, and I said, hey, I was like, man, they got rid of Tucker. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. And then so we started talking about it a little bit, and then he was like, because it's kind of hard for them to swallow, like this Dominion won a lawsuit. So there was damages, and I would have loved to see the trial, but Fox decided it would be cheaper to pay them than all the damage of all the texts that were going to come out, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because they wanted $2 billion, right? They wanted $2 billion.
He said, I still just don't believe that you're telling me Biden got more votes than Obama. Obama was this, I was like, all right. So people, like, when all these things are this proof that's coming against that this election wasn't rigged, at least not the way they think it was rigged, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for them to back down, so they don't understand. So, I said, I don't know. I said, I wasn't, I can't tell you. All I can tell you is all these courts that are saying that there is no evidence. And I said, the other thing is the reason you got to think when you say you can't believe more people voted for Biden than Obama, they made it incredibly easy to vote by mail. I try to give them logic of how you can see that more votes came in than for Obama, because the mail-in due to COVID, they made it really easy to vote by mail. And so it's just amazing though how people don't want to back down, but you're seeing all these heroes for conspiracies starting to go down. And
I want
to say, let me say shout out really quickly to Crazy Legs is in the building. Hip hop icon Crazy Legs. How are you, darling? He says Pierce Morgan as well. Well, Pierce has like a hard on for the Royals.
I just want to put something out there real quick. One of the things that makes this show great is because I'm sure we all notice that even in the chat, there's a certain degree of, I won't necessarily use the word IQ because it's such a gray thing, but we'll say a certain intellectual acumen that's attracted, and it's somewhat, it could be either high or above average. Now, anyone who has that kind of degree of intellectual acumen, more times than not, they're a little bit more centered. They can be right, centered. They can be left centered, but they're a little bit more centered. Reason being, because it's just practical. No one can practice. It makes no sense to be extremely right or extremely left, because that's not real life.
It's not realistic.
It's not real life. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure if you sat me down, that's serious. If you sat me down in front of a fucking a Nazi skinhead. Isn't that beautiful?
Like,
Anyway,
we even got the dogs on the panel.
You know what I mean? Even if you sat me down in front of a Nazi skinhead, I guarantee we could agree on at least 5 things.
I agree. I
We
agree with
could
that.
agree on at least 5 fucking things.
Do you know
I agree
how
with
many
that.
of my friends, when I met them, were homophobic? And this is the thing. And for what you were saying, Haran, as long as they have a willingness to learn and just be open to, I could be wrong about anything, right? I have my views and my things that I believe on. Some of the things I may not budge on today. 10 years, 10 years later, I might be like, well, damn, I remember what No Saint said 10 years ago. He may have a point, you know? So that is what we attract. But it was something someone said to me today, Haran, about this point. And I was like, wow, that's true. I said, this is how I've been my whole life. I mean, even as a kid, I was very like, a lot of stuff that people I'm like, this shit don't make sense. It just don't make sense to me. Like I used to just say this to my parents all the time. I'm like, why do we believe this? Like, so
I think it's as deep as a sexual orientation, Lily. I think we're born like this because listening to you, I was the same kid. Okay. My reputation was that she always got something to say. And I was like, because I fucking want to know. Even as a kid, even playing with my Barbies, I was like, no, it doesn't make sense because there's no motor in the Malibu car. Well, there's not supposed to be a motor. It's fake. Yeah, but is it really? Because you believe it's a car. I was horrible. Even
fake.
As a child, I was just terrible.
I was destroying dreams left and right.
So it is. It's like some people are just wired to be this way. Because I agree with Haran 100%. I can have an in-depth conversation with the woman that mops the floor all the way up to who's running the fucking White House, and it be just as fucking interesting. I'm always like, so I can't be. That's why I don't vote. Like everything, I just cannot.
I can't
because
do it.
If I vote, that means that I am believing in one or the other. And don't get me wrong, I know it's the lesser evil. I'm like, no, fuck all your evils. Fuck all of them.
Fuck them all. I don't care. I don't like none of them.
Right?
Equally.
Very, very, very interesting. I didn't know that. Wait a minute. Miss Ruth says Rock Steady Crew was mentioned on the last episode of Succession. What on earth? I don't even know how those two things match, but that's interesting.
Okay.
I gotta look now. Now I gotta watch.
Now I want to watch Succession because I started the first season and then I stopped, but I want to go back to it. Someone said they know why I like Bill Maher. Why? Why you think I like Bill Maher? Shit.
I used to date the girl who got into the situation with Bill O'Reilly. Actually,
are you on a mic, Haran?
Yeah, my earphones.
Oh, okay. E Scrabble said Jen was the kid who just had to ask. I was.
But you know what? I didn't even ask questions because I felt like most of the shit they were trying to teach me was bullshit in school. I was like, what the fuck is this?
I was the question asker.
I was just wondering why I was here.
You guys can hear me?
No, we can hear you fine. It's just that when you came in, you was hella loud, so I thought you were on a mic.
Oh no,
it's fine though. It's fine. I do want to get into. I don't want to get too much into our stuff. I would like to segue to my gay crush. He used to be my gay crush.
Miss Lemonade.
Don Lemon used to be my gay crush, and then I got over it. He got a little too bitchy for me. So let's talk about Don Lemon. No Saint has no idea. He didn't know that he got fired from CNN like over fucking night. And
did you see the departure letter from him and CNN and how different it was? It was like,
yes, I actually have. I did screenshot it so I could read it to you guys.
Please do. It's very entertaining.
Okay, so this is what Don said after he had found out he was being fired. He said, I was informed this morning by my agent that I have been terminated by CNN. I am stunned. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought that someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly. At no time was I ever given any indication that I would not be able to continue to do the work I have loved at the network. It is clear that there are some larger issues at play. With that said, I want to thank my colleagues and the many teams I've worked with for an incredible run. They are the most talented journalists in the business, and I wish them all the best.
In other words, he said, fuck y'all hoes. And then what they say?
Right. That I don't have.
Well,
I don't
they
have
said
this.
The part that they said is he'll always have a home here at CNN. No, he can't. Y'all just took his home.
This shit sound like when like two people that you swore was in love, all of a sudden the wedding was off. Like you woke up the next morning and the wedding was off, and you try to get the story from both sides of them. Yes. And one side sound like Don shit, and the other side sound like.
I would be like, now we good. We just had, irreconcilable differences. And the guy's like, that bitch crazy. That bitch crazy.
You see this shit right here? You see this shit right here? I told y'all it was this shit, but let me tell you what really happened.
Meanwhile, I'm like, we just had differences.
He's a great guy. That's me. That's my favorite line. He's a great guy.
He's a good guy. We just,
He's a good guy.
Just went different ways. We fell out of love.
I look at him as a brother.
He'll always have a special place in my heart. Not in your vagina, but your heart, at least.
Because they said he will always have a home here. No, you don't even have an office here. So
no, I ain't picking nobody's lesser two evils. Oh my God, David Dallas said, "How you get fired on your day off?"
Here's a little game for y'all. Anytime anyone ever says choosing the lesser of two evils, what you're really doing is prolonging the inevitable.
Right. You're switching seats of Titanic. That's all. Like either way, you're sitting on the same Titanic.
Right, exactly. That's all it is, baby. You just decided to sit in the middle instead of the front, but the plane's still going down.
It's still going down. So go right ahead.
Thank you, Kevin Samuels Ghost. I am a sugar grits girl myself.
Me too.
Okay,
Me too.
Sugar in the grits, lots of sugar.
Yeah,
people are psycho. People are psychopaths.
And butter. Yeah. Butter and sugar.
Mm-hmm. Butter and sugar. What's wrong with you people, man?
Yes, yummy, yummy, yummy for my tummy.
Yeah.
So
God, we eat horrible, Jen. I love it. We should not be promoting our eating habits at all. At all.
Listen,
how much sugar do y'all eat? Both of y'all. How much sugar do both of y'all
There are lies behind this 6-pack, Lily.
It's a lot of lies here. A lot of lies. And Haran, you know what's funny? Tomorrow I'm gonna take, or maybe for the rest of the week, I'm gonna take account and see how much I eat, because that's a lot. I just eat. I eat horrible. I eat fucking horrible. But
how much sugar do I eat?
Lose weight easy. I lose weight really easy, so I have to have high calorie, and then I eat what I like. If I don't like it, I'm not eating it. Like that's the highlight of my day is my food, so it has to bring me pleasure and joy. I mean, I don't apologize for that.
I have a terrible sweet tooth. I remember when I tried to get off sugar, I was just not a pleasant person to be around.
I've actually done.
Okay, let's get back to Don Lemon. We can talk about the sugar on another day. We can talk about sugar. Let's stay on Don Lemon.
We're gonna talk about the other sugar I get. Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, let's stay there. So he was fired. Reason why did they get rid of Don Lemon? So they took him off his own show. He had his own show, and then they threw him in the morning show, and Sis was not having it. He was very snippy and snappy with the co-host. He was very much like, I should be by myself. I hate these bitches. Why are these bitches here? He was a reverse Oreo. He was like the black guy in the middle and then two white ladies on the sides. Like, this is our show now. And he would get a little snippy and a little snooty. If you noticed, if you watched any of the episodes, he was a little snippy with the ladies. Yeah, he was a little Spanish Harlem. He was a little snippy. And so what happens, you fuck with white women, especially with media, they get to talking, although he also went out to Soledad O'Brien, and I know she's not a white woman. But women started doing the "you too, me too." He said that to you. Oh, you too. Wait. Oh, her too. Wait, for real? So word got out that he sent some sort of fucked up text to somebody. He thought it was anonymous, and then they traced it back to him being a little bitch on the text messages. And then he said that another woman, a politician, she was not in her prime anymore.
Oh yeah.
And he was doing the, hey, I'm not. This was corny though. I was like, come on, Don.
What did he say?
Come
The
on,
messenger?
Don.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, no, really. If you like Google women in their prime, it's gonna say 20s and 30s. I was like, what in the Kevin Samuels fucking brain fart are you having right now, dude? You're Don Lemon. You're Don Lemon CNN. But he was like, hey, don't shoot the messenger. It's right now. If you searched women in their prime, it would say 20s and 30s. Like, don't take. I was like, you throwing shade.
He was throwing real shade to them women.
Throwing shade. Yeah. And then he was talking about the soccer team because, the American soccer team is better than the female American soccer team is better than the male soccer team. And he tried to put it, well, if they played against them, they wouldn't be as big a winners. He basically was saying, and I'm paraphrasing, that they're good against other women. But they wouldn't be good against the American male team. They can't win against the American male team. And we were all like, no shit, bitch. Like, what is your issue?
Right.
So then it starts giving you this. Because you know how when you're around somebody and you think like it's all kiki, and then they just keep digging at you and you're like, okay.
You're feeling away.
Right. You're feeling, let's talk about what's the real issue? What's wrong, Donnie? Right. So, so women got together, white women especially, and they outed him basically. And they were like, no, he's been abusive and demeaning and sarcastic and insulting for a minute now. So they canned his ass.
Ladies and gentlemen, to summarize what Jen just said, Don Lemon became a man.
A black man. A black, and they probably took away his gay card. They probably took away his gay card.
He became a guy. And then
you're no longer gay. You're black and you're a man.
How quickly we become what we are when we get our toys taken from us. Oh man, goodness. This lemonade turned into Mr. Hard Rock. Hard Rock and Lime, and he was out here like, man, what was he doing? He was telling chicks they were past their prom.
Yes,
he was.
I'm like, he was really having his little Kevin Samuels moments.
Kevin Samuels talking points.
And see, the thing is, he was so, in my opinion, he was so focused in on throwing shade and hurting those two women that he was forgetting that there was other women and other people who would get hit by those rocks. And
yep.
See, Don forgot one thing. You still a black man. You still a black man in a room full of white women.
What did Don say? Shit. Let me tell you something. Perish the thought. Cut your tongue out.
What happened?
Talking about nobody over 40 is in their prime. Cut your tongue out.
Let me tell you something.
I beg to differ too. But he could talk about himself now. Now, if he got bad knees, if he got bad knees and a bad back, receding hairline, you could. I'm in my motherfucking prime, bitches. Okay,
I got better after 40. That's shit. Got good, baby.
Ain't
nobody gonna tell me different. Okay,
my left stroke still the best stroke. You better ask somebody.
Now, if you can't keep up, that's a different topic.
And still got them making knees.
Okay.
Don't play.
I got a video on my phone right now. Show you my knees is good, baby. Okay, right now.
Well, if you want to help us clarify, feel free. We all family, baby.
And let me tell you something, Haran. Not even flat-footed. On my toes with the hydraulics, bitch. On my toes with the hydraulics. Don't play with me.
Don't play.
You wonder why you can't get nobody out your damn DMs. You on your damn toes doing all that.
I'm like, because flat-footed is easy. Flat-footed is easy. Don't play with me.
Just to let all y'all know out there, that'll get you the Haran Platinum package, baby. You can get on your toes. That's your rent. That's your.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, work out, ladies. Work out, work
Yeah.
out, work out, work out, work
Yeah.
out.
Now, even though I eat bad, I do walk 5 miles a day. And I
That's a
drink a
lot.
lot of water. Yeah, I walk 5 miles a day easy. That's like
What
light
the?
work for me.
Don said Jen, sugar and the grits is grounds for divorce in the South.
I
Yeah, it
mean,
is in the South. Yeah, they will hang.
yeah, it is,
They
man.
was ready
Like,
to hang me in the South, and I didn't give a fuck.
What you put in the grits in the South? Salt and pepper and shrimp?
Butter.
No, no.
yeah,
Butter too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ruining a good bowl of grits. I hate all of you right now. Okay, so Don Lemon, the can, I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot who said it earlier. Don Lemon, the can. Lily, no Saint Haran. I know I've seen it and I've said it. And I also think that closet, gay men do this a lot. They throw extra shade at women.
Oh yeah.
They
I
throw
can tell you that.
extra shade at women. So do you think that there was a part of Donnie Wani Lemon who was doing this? Because, you know what I mean? It was several women, and we're not talking about one or two. We up in the 6 or 7. We up in the 6 or 7.
There's a pattern.
You know what I mean? And he's sending them little texts and thinking he wasn't going to get caught. Then it got traced back to him. Like, what's the heat? But you know, a man who's living in his truth, a man who's married to a man, right? Why would they still be throwing shade? Like, you're happy, you're out, you're gay, you're married.
No, okay. Thank you for bringing that up. That is one of the biggest misconceptions about people who are out of the closet.
Okay.
And
I gotta hear it.
Oh yes, I did a whole talk on this yesterday. I had a speaking engagement yesterday, and it was about internalized homophobia. And oh well, that's so big, so big in the community. And they called me because that's a big part of my story. So that's why I'm able to recognize it when I see it, when I hear it. And it's also why I'm not so easily offended by shit, because I know I can hear where it's coming from. A lot of times I'm like, oh, you're in pain. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing I can do.
You're in pain.
Yeah. There's nothing I can do to make you any more in pain, or nothing I can say that make you hurt than as much as you're already hurting. So I'm gonna let you live. But I'm gonna say this. Just because you are out, right, doesn't mean you're okay with being gay. It's just like, okay, I've had to accept that I can't change this, but I don't like it. I'm not okay with it, right? Because this is for the people who think that being gay is a choice, right? Like, for those who are really truly gay or really truly trans, right? It's a burden. It's a real burden, because most people want to be like everybody else. They want to be normal. They want to fit in, right? So that's why you also now see the influx of people pretending to be gay, right? Same type of situation, okay? And so, but let's go back to our time period where it wasn't cool, right? And it wasn't celebrated and all of that stuff. There's a lot of stigma that comes from it. And I came out at 18 and I was homophobic up until 29. I was very unhappy with being who I was. So I took it out on everybody, you know, that reminded me of something that I didn't like about myself, right? So there are a lot of gay men who are women haters, right?
I didn't really think about that.
And with those, but see, that's never been an issue of mine. I've always loved women, so I never was able to understand that part, right? And so I could never really get close to them because I never was able to understand where it was coming from. But then I realized, oh, they would rather be a cisgender straight woman than a gay man. So, because they feel like women have more options when it comes to dating and things like that. And so I think that's where a lot of this comes from.
Wait a minute. So let me I'm trying to be clear. You're basically saying, yeah, we're about to go there. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah,
After I ask this question.
You
After
know
I
it's
ask this
time to talk.
question,
You know it's time to talk race on the block. You know it's time to talk race.
quick question. So what you're basically saying is that these gay men don't necessarily hate being gay men. They just hate not being women.
Sometimes they feel like it'd be easier to be a woman because they're attracted to men, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not attracted to women. So if they were if they were probably bi or whatever, they might want to rather be a masculine man, right? But instead they feel like, damn, I would probably get a better crop of guys if I was a woman, or I'd be able to be out in public with my man if I was you know what I'm saying?
This is interesting because I eventually I wanted to talk to Lily about this, and it just happens to come up right now. So I've been seeing. I showed you that one transgender woman who is really beautiful, right? I showed her on the show one time, and there's a lot of that on YouTube where some of these trans women really look good, and the difference they get, like, I'm not saying they're transgender because they didn't want to be gay, but there is an advantage for, especially if they are passable and are pretty, they get as many straight guys, more straight guys than any ugly regular woman, and probably as many as regular beautiful women. And I thought about that. I said, I was like, and one of them said, one lady said when she was gay, it like,
I'm ready.
Hold on.
We're getting there.
One person was saying that one of the biggest changes in her life when she transitioned was that she got a lot more attention from guys.
That was my story. It became so overwhelming, like really, like because before I transitioned, I didn't really think about with like the stuff that Jen says about like, y'all just sometimes we just leave us alone, like let us walk down the street. I didn't understand that, right? Because I still had a good crop of guys when I was, but it was so different. It was very like, meet me in the back, meet me in the corner. It was more like that. But when I transitioned, it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming.
Let me ask you a question.
And people don't understand that it is overwhelming. They're like, oh, poor little you with the pretty privilege, but they don't understand that it's a fucking nuisance. So when I hear men say, so we'll just stop talking to you altogether, Eureka, we're here. We're here. We took the long way, but we're here.
We made it.
Well, I get what you're saying, Jen, and you do have I can see where your issue would be, but you're in a different scale. I'm not making any excuses, but you're in a different scale than the average woman.
Right.
You know what I mean? Overwhelming for you is 100 guys not, not letting you breathe for 5 minutes. The average woman would love to have that. The average woman,
you're right. That and then the birth of the pick-me. Like, forget her. I'll talk to you. You're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's still not, any
less. I get it. I completely understand because I've seen it. I've seen it in real time when I've had to tell dudes like, yo, man, she just got here, man. Like, let her put her bag down first. Like, god damn, man.
I can't come in the fucking room.
This is a bunch of hyenas, man. Anyway, one question.
Mm-hmm.
Ring the bell. We about to go there. We about to go there.
We about to go there good because I got a question. I want to piggyback off Lily though.
Lily, let me ask you a question. Lily, let me ask you a question. I want you to keep it 100. It's the block. Okay. How did Black women feel when your dating pool expanded?
Don't get me in trouble tonight. Do
not. I gave you fair warning. How did Black women feel when your dating pool went from this before you before you became trans, as opposed to before when it was a respectable situation? Was there as much support? Was there a little backhanded comments? Was there some straight up just hating?
Right, let's put that up first. I will say that. There's a big reason why I stopped sharing pictures of any man I'm dating online. That's one of the major reasons why. Because they will go from fan to, like Jen said, they will say comments that were meant to be jokes with truth undertones. You started noticing the treatment toward me changed. Some, not all. Let's just be clear about that, right? But what I will say, this is something that is very prevalent in the Black community. And let me be real clear. I said it earlier. I love women. Will always love women. Especially the ones who rap for me. The only issue that I have seen, I haven't really gone through this as much, but I've seen this a million times. The girls who do the yes, girl, that's my blah, they all up in the gay man's space and all of that stuff. But the moment they get into an argument, he's every punk, blah, 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 F word, every, all of the things. And it's like, oh, so you already were homophobic, but I was your puppy dog. I was your accessory, right? So there's a lot of that goes on as well. There's a lot of that goes away. But that's one of the reasons why I don't share my men, because I know, because most of my fan base is women, and a lot of women don't like that. We look online and we see that women are like they're arguing about they can't find a man, they can't get a man. And then you see this trans woman pop up with a nice looking man. Some people are not going to take that well.
Welcome to my world, Lily.
Well, I mean, hey,
why he with that Latina?
Well, you can always do things like go to the gym and stop being so goddamn argumentative.
Well, and what I find real quick, what I find interesting about some of this is like some of these trans women are not going to get bottom surgery, and but like Lily said, have a really good straight man by their side, and it's just like. I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's pretty. Well, deep.
some of those guys don't want them to get bottom.
Most of them don't want you to.
Really?
Most of them.
Yeah, no,
like literally.
I've spoken to.
Most of them don't, and honestly, they try to. Whenever I go out on dates or meet a guy, they're always trying to find a way to get that question in.
Yeah.
They're always trying to find. I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming. They're trying to get that question. Did you still got it? Like that's always something that they want to know. And then it's weird. It's weird out here. But some of them they have a weird.
So I wanted to, really quickly, Lily, you said something so interesting about how some gay men are tortured, even though they're out the closet and all of that, because I said something similar. That's why I rang the race bell, right? Because I noticed in the manosphere, and even some guys that come to my page, right? Like they're super miserable, super bitter, very argumentative. And then they're like, I'm married though. And I'm like, it doesn't mean a fucking thing that some woman is tolerating you. It doesn't mean that you are over the rejection that you've gotten your whole life. It doesn't mean that you're satisfied with that wife because she's not attractive, right? You're married. You're married to this woman who's tolerating you, but you're still angry that the Jen and Lilies of the planet don't want to fuck with you. You still carry that. You are still carrying that. But it's funny to me how men hide behind their ring. Like, I'm married, so I'm good. No, you are not good, sir. That's why you are arguing on my Facebook, and I don't know you from a can of paint. You are not good, sir. And going to the race is like when I've gotten into situations before with the Black Power people, and I think they cosplay. There's a lot of people that cosplay Black Power. We've seen a couple of them up here. But there was this woman specifically who had an issue with me being in Black spaces and you would think, wow, this is a Black woman, very Afrocentric. She wears the big African, earrings with the turban. She's all in dashiki. She has the beautiful dark skin husband. And I'm like, but she
all of that comes from a kid, Jen. You can buy that at Walmart.
Right. But she had such an issue with me. And I noticed that with race, and we can throw this up again, some Black people are tortured by having to be Black. So they overcompensate. It's similar to what you said, Lily, where it's like, yeah, I'm out, I'm gay, but I'd rather not wear this and just be a heterosexual woman. That way I can get whatever I want and whatever. So it's the same thing with those particular Black people, where it's like I say they wear their Black as a misery they want company for, which is why you hear things like that. Well, you Black too. Well, if the cops pulled you over, you would get shot, right? And that doesn't come from a place of inclusion, like, hey, we're all people of color, we're all indigenous, we're all beautiful, we all got to stick together. That's different than, but the cops pull you over, you Black too. Those are two separate arguments. Those are two separate worlds. One of them sounds like, I want you to have a fucked up life the way I have a fucked up life when you get pulled over. And the other one is, no, we are all one because we are all one. Right?
And they perceive their life to be fucked up.
Right. Exactly.
And so since you don't perceive your life to be fucked up, you're not in the same boat as them, and now they're mad at you.
See, the one thing that I think all of these people share one thing in common. They have not sat down and did the adult thing where they have accepted that life isn't fair.
It's that
You're
simple.
You're just not gonna get. You're not gonna get that many chicken McNuggets in your shit that you wanted originally. Sometimes they'll get less. Sometimes they give you some more. Sometimes you get whatever the fuck they got in the bag, because that is just life. Whenever somebody, whenever I believe I was telling Jen one time before. Whenever somebody calls her a preference, that's just projection, and that's projection saying you're a preference because deep down inside, I want to be a preference. But I gotta date dudes with broke. I gotta date these kinds of Black men. My pool isn't yours. Well, that's life. There's somebody out there where their pool isn't yours. They got a shittier pool than you think you got.
And let's qualify. It's not fair for anybody.
Not at all. Not at all.
Anybody.
Not at all. Not at all.
Whatever you think is a preference, whatever you think. If I sat here, and Lily knows some of my story, if I sat here and told a bitch who didn't like me because I'm light-skinned what my fucking backstory is, I guarantee she probably hasn't gone through the same trauma I have, and less trauma than I have. Life isn't fair for anybody, but I hate when people wear whatever whether it's their sexual identity or their race or their complexion or their hair texture or their height or they wear that shit, right? Like a misery, and they just want to pull you into that misery. I say the same thing about Lizzo. You're not happy about being fat. You're not really happy about being
I can
fat.
do a whole show on her, because one day she'll be cussing us out and saying she don't give a fuck about what we say, and the next day she's crying, right? And we already know what's going to happen. She's going to pop up skinny. She's going to pop up skinny and betray all these girls that she's leading astray. We already know how this is going to happen. Monique did the same thing. We see this every generation. We see it.
Tyra Banks did it. They do it. They play up that fat. Yeah, we all big and beautiful. Then they get on that diet, and then there's like this crickets. That other model did that too. The one that was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and they attacked her for losing weight.
Yeah, they will.
Look, no matter how you look, you know what I mean? I don't care what anyone says. No matter how you look, you know, the easiest way to gain at least maybe a point more fucking privilege is to change your fucking wardrobe and change your appearance. You know, whether it's that to go to the gym, go to the whatever, and so on and so forth. You can change, you can gain some degree of, I guess, pretty privilege to some degree if you just change your appearance. That's the easiest way to do that. Now, to your point, when you just said that with those girls, once those girls basically change their appearance and change their lives, they don't look back. They change their shit and they keep it pushing, which you should. I believe I am the strong belief that everyone should use every bit of their tools at their disposal to make their lives the best that it can be. It's just practical. It's just practical. You know what I mean? And if you're not, you're a complete idiot.
And in this day and age, I'm gonna tell you this. In this day and age, because of how society is, to your point, Haran, it's easier than ever for a lot of reasons. I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, people dress sloppy these days. People are fucking sloppy. Okay, when I'm out and about, I'm just like really appalled of how people go outside looking. And let's hit the race bell, especially Black people, because growing up, we didn't have much, so we took pride in our appearance when we went out the house.
fashion was a big deal. Yeah, it was. It was very much a big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the bum Olympics at this point now when you're walking down the street. It's crazy. Those damn like long eyelashes and matted weaves and fluffy zippers and biking shorts. And it's just so sloppy. So I'm saying that to say you don't have to do much to just match or something, wear something that's fitting. I mean,
Color coordinate. Yeah.
Take the bonnet off. Just take the bonnet off.
Yeah.
So really quickly, circling back to Lily, check your text messages. So circling back to Don Lemon, what say you, Block? Justified or not? I mean, he didn't incite a riot. He didn't incite violence. He was just a little snipping, a little spicy. Do you think he really created a hostile environment?
Yes.
You think he created a hostile environment?
Yes, he did. Over there bothering Miss Bessie. Miss Bessie was nice enough to give him another. Miss Bessie was nice enough to give that man another position. They ain't even fired him before that.
But you know what? That it's a downgrade though. It's like a demotion. Like he went from his own starring on his own show to now you sandwiched between two white women and they're talking over you.
But
whose fault is that though?
Let me say something though, because everybody is replaceable. Because we saw one particular show that said the Wendy Williams show on the back, but you had Sherry Shepherd sitting her ass there, and you had Remy Ma sitting her ass there. And
they didn't even take a week. They didn't even wait a week before they did that shit.
You know what I'm saying? And they just took over this woman's show, kept her stage, kept her name, kept her staff, kept her everything, right? And so all of us are replaceable. So to go in to think that you're untouchable and unreplaceable is a really, really, really big mistake.
Especially in the day of social media, man.
Yeah.
Now I will say this, Miss Ruth. I don't want it
That's
to be
funny.
But I'll say this though. It's also a lesson, and like you said, Lily, anybody could be replaced. But I'm like, when I hear someone say, "I was there for 17 years," I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah,
you're an idiot.
Really are.
Yeah,
you're an idiot. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's at McDonald's. I don't care if it's at CNN. But again, you start feeling like shit. My gig is at CNN. I'm on top of the world. If you don't own it, if you're not if you don't have ownership or stock in it, you sound stupid to me. Like I was shocked when he said 17 years when I read his like.
Why doesn't he have his own podcast?
Exactly.
Why doesn't he have Don? Exactly. Like Don should be a brand on his own. Well, Carlson, he's gonna be okay. He's got some options. He'll take that right wing shit and they'll take that show on the road.
I'm gonna answer your question, Haran. There's an answer to your question. This shit is hard. It's hard building your own brand. How many people we've seen try it and last no more than 90 days? Because
even if you have money,
it's not easy building your own brand from scratch. I've done it a few times. I've done it several times, and it's not easy. So that's why I don't even care how I feel about you. If you like you said, Jen, if you made it, you did it because I know how hard it is, and I know the work it takes. I might not like anything that comes out your mouth, but I'm like, you know what? I can't take that from you because I know what it takes. I'm not going to hate on that.
That's why I do respect Wendy Williams. I do respect Wendy Williams.
Yeah, I mean,
on another levels, but she built that motherfucking brand on her back.
I'll agree with Lily. People think this shit is easy. It is fucking not. For the record, I was camming up on this bitch when everybody was hiding behind avatars, which meant you could look like whatever the fuck you wanted to look like. And I was up here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and makeup and hair done, matching my fucking caption to my shirt. And I was here every motherfucking night for weeks and weeks and weeks. I had to force people to cam up because this shit is not easy. And that's why we've seen a lot of fucking clowns come and go. Even the ones that thought they had a following bashing me, where the fuck they at? They're still in that cesspool. They don't have a brand. I have a motherfucking brand, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, bitches. So it is not fucking easy. This shit is not easy. But, when you're Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson, all you got to do is walk in and sit in the makeup chair. And someone's going to bring you coffee, and someone's going to bring you clothes, and someone's going to bring you notes. We got to do all this shit from scratch. Lily and I are constantly like, yo, look at this article. Look at this video. Look at this. We're constantly, Pat, this shit is a fucking job all the fucking time. So, you know, with Don Lemon, I don't feel sorry for him. 17 fucking years. You should have had a plan. Like, are you?
Well, not just that. 17 years in entertainment is a long run. It's not like
it's a lifetime. It's a fucking lifetime.
How long did Conan O'Brien have the Tonight Show? The Tonight Show, like
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was
nothing
is in entertainment, like you said. Nothing. We have a joke on set, right? When I was doing makeup on set. This is real shit. If you ever get into like doing movies and TVs and stuff, every day you show up, you're wondering if you have a job. Every day you go to fucking lunch, you wondering if you got a job when you come back. I promise you, you will come back. You think you cool with everybody and everything. You got your little roller. Hey, huh?
So yeah, I mean, and for Don Lemon, I mean, the writing I think was on the wall when they moved him from his own show because he kind of got lost. I mean, I didn't know what he was doing other than that once he moved, you know. And then once in a while I'd flip through and I'd say, "Oh, he's on in the morning." Wow. But
it's also a lesson in humility, though. It is very much a lesson in humility.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is with this, I think I don't know what the ratings were for that show in the morning with him, but they were probably like, this is a good way to get rid of him now because.
Well, they said the ratings were horrible in comparison to his night show.
So then once your ratings are horrible, those little texts that you were doing when you had your own show aren't going to fly anymore, right?
No, they're not. They're not.
You're expendable once, you know. I mean, everybody's expendable, but it's a lot easier to get rid of you when you're not pulling any.
The devil ain't a bad guy as long as he's making everybody money.
Right.
Okay. All right. It's like being in a relationship with a woman. You know what I mean? Like a woman is sitting there. No, this is you can go ahead. I'm gonna say some shit that's gospel. Women will overlook a bunch of shit about you if you make them motherfucking happy. If you make them motherfucking happy, you are everything to women. You massage that cervix just enough to make that electricity flow through their whole fucking body. You know what I mean? They'll overlook that little eye.
And pay the electricity bill.
And pay everything. They'll overlook this, they'll overlook that. But the moment you come in there with no job, weak back, attitude, all of a sudden your eyes a little lower than what it was. All of a sudden you 5'4". All of a sudden, my sister told me not to fuck with you in the first place. All of a sudden, this shit.
All that.
So this is a prime example of if you want to keep anything in life, you got to always remain on point. And that within itself is a job. It's a consistent thing, man. You know what I mean? Like, look, listen. I had my time when I was younger, when I was feeling myself on a particular gig. I was like, man, I'm gonna be all right. Me. Look, I was like maybe 22, 23. And you know, they had enough of my shit one morning. And then, you know, I came in and it was very deserted. The area was very deserted. I was like, hey, where's everybody? It's like, yeah, hold on. I was like, hey, what's going on? Come here for a second. Let's start talking for a minute. I was like, hey, what's going on? Oh, okay. You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? It was in that moment I realized that, you know what? I needed to practice a lot more humility in life. I needed to practice a lot of things in order to understand that, look, you're only as good as the day before.
Right.
Yeah. I remember before I got fired one time out of several. I'm just not meant to work for people.
Right.
I'm not very good. Surprised. I'm not good at office politics.
Exactly.
Shocking. And one of my bosses is like, he came over, he was like, you should straighten out your desk a little bit. And I was like,
oh shit.
We're creative. We don't have straightened up desks.
Right. So I was like, shortly after that, I got the Jen, can you come in the office?
No, you know what I like, and Jen and Haram.
But you know why? No, but that was it. Wait. Let me clarify. I wasn't fired because of the messy desk. I was fired because 2 days prior, I was working for 3 different companies. I was like I was the hub for the 3 different companies. And the new company from London, motherfucker had a stick up his ass. And he asked me to stay after 5. I don't stay after 5 unless you got more money, right?
Exactly.
So, he shot his little, how do you expect to, rise in this company if you don't stay after your shift? And I said, what makes you think I want to rise in this company? That's assumptive. I was out of there 2 days after.
Right.
Gone. And let me tell you what this motherfucker did. I was sitting at my desk one time and I'm at the front. I'm sitting down. He came over and unplugged who does this? He unplugged my computer and everything I had on the desk to plug in his cell phone. Okay. He did not like me and I did not like him. So I was like, fuck you, your TA and your
Yes, it sounded mutual. Jen.
And that stick up your ass. Yeah. So 2 days later, and then my first boss was like, I wouldn't have let you go. But I was like, it's cool. It's cool, Chip. His name was Chip. I was like, it's cool, Chip. It's cool. I'm cool. But me and him would have got into a fucking cat fight anyway. Me and that dude from London. So I was like, it's all good. I'm leaving. I'm taking it.
I'll tell you how wild I was though in that first gig. I was doing stupid shit. I can't, looking back now, I'm like, why did I even do that? I was actually dating a girl in human resources.
Sir. You might as well have been dating the boss's daughter.
You know what I mean? I mean, when I tell you I did bonehead shit when I was younger, this is the reason why I'm so full of wisdom. Because I've done so much stupid shit.
I always say that too. I've done so much dumb shit. That's why I'm so full of wisdom.
Exactly. I've been down so many roads. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know I'm right because I've been. I've been in the shootout. The wrong way to do it. I can tell you the right way to do it. I'm not talking out my ass. So yeah.
So so you think we're gonna see Don on a YouTube scroll?
I do.
Absolutely. I do. This ain't the end of Miss Lemonade. She's fired up. She's ready. Yeah. She's ready to go to war. She's got a fan base.
But I believe
she got
that
a fan base.
I believe
he does.
But I think Tucker would get bigger subscribers and followers quick because that.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah, that crazy right wing, like they're committed.
Hate goes much further. Hate goes much further online.
But I was going to say with the how people switch up on you, how these companies switch up to you when you stop producing or not producing. You both can attest to what I'm about to say. You get the people who get signed to a record label or get signed to a modeling agency. What the most of the public doesn't know that we know is 9 times out of 10, y'all don't know none of the names that got signed because they were never released. They sat on the shelf. They were never able to produce, right? Mm-hmm. Or, they started out like that and then they realized, oh, shoot, I'm not going to go anywhere if I don't do something myself. So they start figuring out a way to do it, and then they start producing, and all of a sudden they get the big budgets, they get big videos, blah blah blah. They get all of that, and then once their star starts to go down, the phone stops ringing, and they stop answering the phone. And I'll say that, like, even with me, when I got signed to my agency, they didn't know my name. They didn't answer my calls. It took them about a month to answer an email. I'm like, hey, how's the weather outside?
Any jobs for me? Any gigs lately? Just
hey, and they're like, who are you again? And then, then I realized, I was like, bitch, I'm gonna be successful with it without y'all. So it is what it is. So I started doing what I had to do and kept doing what I had to do. Started booking. All of a sudden, they're calling, how's your mama doing?
Then they know your name.
So it's just business. It's just how it goes.
Absolutely. Like, I was about to say, I don't even take it personal.
It's just business.
But you make a great point right there, Lily, because there's this misconception that nowadays you have to take your own brand and get a buzz. And the labels come knocking and so on and so forth. Technically speaking, it's kind of always been that way. Because to your point, a lot of people got signed. A lot of people have gotten signed, but they never got put out. However, you might have one act who says, "Oh well, okay, well I'm just gonna do some shows. I'm gonna some shit local, get some little local buzz, and the labels are like, oh shit, such and such is popping. Let's throw some money behind. This, that, and the third. While the rest of those motherfuckers who are just sitting on their ass not doing anything. I've seen the same shit with actors. Actors going out there getting their own gigs, getting their own situation. All of a sudden,
making their own fucking film.
Yeah, making all that. All of a sudden, the management company that barely calls them once every 7 months is like, "Hey, man, we'll see you out here doing things." Like, look, at the end of the day, if you want anything in this life, man, you got to go out there and get it yourself, man.
And what's crazy is that I always think back to Sylvester Stallone. Like, he gave us the blueprint along as far as acting, but it can translate to other things. Like, nobody wanted him. He's like, you big dopey Italian with an accent. Who cares about a fucking boxer? And he was like, I'm just gonna do this shit myself. Like, he gave us the fucking blueprint, and his story is pretty amazing. And I never forgot that. And I'm that type of person. Like, I'm doing my own shit. I'm not sitting waiting to get a phone call. You know what I mean? Oh my God, you want me for your movie? No, fuck that. I'm making my own shit. Create a buzz. That's how it is. But I noticed that too, like with the lead singers of a lot of boy bands and girl bands, like Justin Timberlake, right? He blew up out of NSYNC. But when you watch the documentaries, they're like, Justin was here first thing in rehearsal and always the last one to leave. Those are the people. It has nothing to do with anything else other than how driven you are.
Yes.
That's all it is.
And the other part of that too is once you do get signed and then they do start finding you gigs and you're getting all this big money, a lot of times a lot of people will get lazy and get used to that. And I feel like that's where Don Lemon, he fell into that. He just got complacent. And because he's gotten to place, there's a lot of other people that I've seen drop the ball in the height of their career when it was like, dang, you had all of this notoriety, you had this platform, you could have used that to do all of these independent projects, but instead you were just a 9-to-5 employee, which is not a problem, but just understand you're a 9-to-5 employee. So
and remember Dame Dash said that too, and it's true. It's like, for all the shit that Charlemagne, DJ Envy, and the boring chick, the eggplant that sits on the side, for all the bullshit that they do, it's like, if they were to get canned tomorrow, like, are you really running to go see Charlemagne on his individual YouTube? Are you really running to go see DJ Envy? Imagine DJ Envy. See, Charlemagne stays in some shit and people are nosy. But imagine DJ Envy, after working there 20 some odd years, gets fired tomorrow.
Done. He's done.
Who's going to see DJ Envy on his YouTube show? DJ Envy.
Now I'm gonna tell you, I agree with you 100%. But what he did do right, he made a lot of investments outside of this industry.
Okay.
A lot. Like, that's what he's known for. He's made a lot of good investments. As a matter of fact, a lot of people in the industry come to him for mentorship when it comes to how to take this money that you made. So that's the other thing. You either make, because that's what I did. That's what I did with mine.
He better stay on it, because he got a gang of kids and a wife that likes very expensive things.
Right.
You got a gang of kids? You got a gang of kids?
Yes.
A lot of kids.
Yes. He got a gang of kids. He sure does. That's college tuition. That's
man.
And he got a lot of kids, and they all like expensive things. Okay, his wife stays in the such, and because that bitch ain't got a job, so she's like, I make babies, and I act like Jesus is the way, and I go shopping. That is what I tell.
He acts like a bitch to me. Like, he is so bitchy. Like, it's like the epitome of bitch assness. Like, if it was a person, because I mean, like, when I'm like, can he get any more bitchy? Like, it's just so cringy. His thought process with things, he's so emotional and but not in the healthy emotional way. It's a bitchy emotional way. It's a PMS way, It's like,
as far as Don Lemony as far as he goes. I'm actually surprised at how much these celebrities divulge, right? Because had he not told us that, I was stunned, and we wouldn't have known. We would have thought it was a regular like firing, and it's like, okay, time for you to go, or we parted ways. He could have released and say, we parted ways. We decided to part ways. It's not working since I'm not doing my own show. Because I'm stunned, and I would think that someone from management would call. It's like, stop. Why are you volunteering information? My father told me never fucking volunteer information. What do you about? Did they ask you that?
Right.
Did we ask you? Was it by surprise? Did we ask you? Did you know? We didn't ask you. Stop volunteering information. Make yourself look stupid. Because it's like, what are we supposed to do about it?
But that's the behavior that got his. That's the behavior that got his ass tossed up out of there.
Right. Like, are we getting, and it shows that, you bitchy, because it's like when people divulge information, you have to think, what is this going to do for me?
You're not calling him Monique, are you? You're not doing that. That's not what you're doing.
I'm calling him Tyrese. Have you seen Tyrese?
You didn't call him Tyrese, did you? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing?
Why is he doing, like, are we supposed to all go picket in front of CNN? Like, shut up. Like, I was stunned. Like, it makes it look worse. It looks like you got kicked out on your ass, like fired on your day off.
Or maybe he probably ended up doing the whole black man thing, because they try to us, because about us.
Yes.
Us. You see what they're doing to us?
Yeah. Monique.
Well, us wasn't getting paid when you was getting paid.
And
if we work this out for you, us is still going to not get paid.
I did say that he played up, because he was my gay crush. I confess. Hit that like button for me, please. Por favor. He was my gay crush, and then he went into his blackity black thing, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I sighed. I don't care if this is gonna start some shit on the block with Jenna Gmail, bitch. But he does this thing, and I'm like, you go home to a whole white husband. Shut the fuck up. He was like, you don't know what it's like to live in my skin. I'm like, you're ahead of the game. You're married. There's some white women who can't marry the white man you married. Shut the fuck up. Like, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, true. Don Lemon, just like that. Black man, gay man, victim. We must boycott CNN. No.
No, we're not. No, I'm staying home. I'm gonna watch Power tonight. That's
no English.
I'm good on that, man.
Yeah.
You take care of Miss Lemonade.
Right.
You'll figure out.
Bro, you'll be just fine. And I'm pretty sure they gave him a cute little
severance pack. I'm sure.
Nice.
I'm sure.
Nice. I'm sure they had many zeros on it. Yeah. All right, guys, we out of here right at the 2-hour mark. We out of here. No Saint, what say you?
Yeah, so I just want to say I stumbled on. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's owned by
Original Colonizer. Oh God.
You're just not getting it.
He's the OC.
He's the OC. Yes. So I don't know if you guys heard of this. It's called, I think, Freevee or something like that. It's owned by Amazon. It's free. You can download it. And I stumbled upon a show. I think everybody will probably like it, but I thought of Jen. It's a show. It's a mockumentary. So you had they're all this one guy signs up for jury duty to see what jury duty is all about. He signs up for it. Everybody's an actor except for him. And it is funny as hell. One guy who played in the X-Men and he's a famous actor or whatever is, I don't want to ruin it, but you got to watch it. It is funny.
What's the name of the show?
It's called, I think it's called Jury Duty, but it's on Freevee, which is.
I don't know if I have Freevee.
No. You download it. It's a free app by Amazon.
I got it. Okay. I got it. Oh no, I'm seeing. Oh my God. Oh, this looks hilarious already.
Yeah. And
okay.
Like a big. So he's all like talking to the actor, and the actor's all like, "Oh, well, let me just give you one of the lines that make you laugh." So. People are trying to get out of the jury duty when they're selected, right? And there's this one, and so he said, "What do you think?" Because they let people, at first they were letting people go. Oh, you just, you have a lot of kids. Okay, you're dismissed. So they're outside talking. Well, evidently he told this one guy. So they're back in court, and he says, "Who can't be?" He's like, "Me." And he stands up. He's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "I'm a racist." He's like. you're a racist. He's like looking around. He's like, no, I just trying to get out of the jury duty. He's like, who told you that? And he kind of looks to the guy who's not acting, kind of looks to the light.
I gotta see that. Yeah.
Right.
That's what
everybody's guilty. Everybody.
So I just caught it yesterday. So yeah, I thought that would be pretty funny to watch. So
I'd like
it's free.
I'd like to watch that.
Yes.
All right, guys, so we out of here. We will see you mañana. Don't forget Block Talent Battle every single Saturday, where we have talent from all over the United States. So far, Seattle, Washington, Los Angeles, Atlanta, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. These people are coming in for this talent battle, okay? Okay. I do want to say really quickly, ladies, I love you. You all lovely. But when you send me an email to come on to the Block Talent Battle, I don't need you to be naked, okay? I would like you to send me your picture with your clothes on. I don't need you to be naked, just putting that out there. You gentlemen as well. I think this goes without saying, but I'm saying it because I'm getting some very interesting on the block with Jen at Gmail contestants. I don't need your boobs, mama. I don't need your ass, just your picture and what your talent is. And we will see you on Saturday for Block Talent Battle, 8 p.m. Eastern, and every day for this week. And then Friday, Freaky Friday with Lily and I. And No Saint Haram may or may not pull up. George Cook was in the chat. He was laying in a cut. He didn't come up to battle you today. I said, oh, today's going to be some white on white violence, but he didn't come up. He didn't come up. I said, oh, shit, it's going to be good tonight. Yeah, but he didn't come up. So maybe tomorrow. All right, guys. So we are out of here. If no more parting words, we will see you.
That damn dollar bar. I'm gone. I'm out of here. See y'all tomorrow.
Can we have less people?
Can we get some
light-skinned people?
Listen. I let everybody come on up. What you want?
So they think we discriminated against the light-skinned people for the talent. I'm out.
Right, because I was about to say something, but I said no, we're at the 2-hour mark. I'm out of here.
Right.
Good night, guys.
Class dismissed. Love you all. Class dismissed.
All right, guys, if you're still here, hit that like and subscribe. Don't forget, I'm on the block with Jen on all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, on the block with Jen at Gmail. If you want to contact me for any business reasons, and don't forget, you could buy me a smoothie at Cash App on the block with Jen. We will see you here tomorrow. And don't forget, if you want to be on the talent show, email me on the block with Jen at Gmail, your picture, your talent, and then be here and wait in the queue. We will pull you up for a chance of winning $100 cash. Good night, guys. Good night, Mark Randall, late as hell.